Welcome back to Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon, the best Zelda game in the series.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised at how short this game is. In my mind, I thought it was, like, at the very least an hour.
Well, you have to consider that aside from the fact that most people playing this game are playing the much slower CDI version, I think you're going to find very few Let's Plays of this game that are as adept and optimized as this.
Put that on your resume.
Cape from your shroud. Here, I must be off.
Well, I guess also if you're playing it blind, most of your time will be spent just wandering around, trying to figure out what you actually need to do.
Oh my!
Yeah, even with a knowledge of having watched a couple Let's Plays of these games, my first playthroughs were stumbling a lot.
Wow, that fancy dude, probably my least favorite character design yet.
Oh, but he's one of the most famous characters in the game. He says that this is illegal.
I mean,
This
he's
game
probably
is
not
illegal.
wrong. Yeah, should he?
Come on, hurry! It's awful! Mayor Cavendish has been chained in the tower.
This guy's also a classic.
Come see me in Sakado.
I wonder if all these
Batman.
voice actors are just people the animators knew. And they were like, hey man, can you do me a solid?
Oh, absolutely.
It's entirely possible.
Want to make a quick buck?
So what do we think? Do we think that this game is the reason why there's never been so rarely are Zelda games where Zelda is the protagonist?
Oh, it's just like Catwoman and it ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, I suppose so. Although I think in this case it's probably because they knew they'd never be able to measure up to this.
Guess again, Iron Knuckle.
This is what feminism is.
I mean, this game definitely had an impact in that after this it took until Cadence of Hyrule for another Western developer to be able to be allowed to make a Zelda game.
Oh, yeah. And
Oh, Bernie
I
Sanders
don't
up there
blame
chilling.
Nintendo for doing that.
Please, Your Highness, would you kindly cut the chains that bind me?
And Nintendo's just out there trying to claim these games don't exist. Like, there was a Nintendo Power article talking about Spirit Tracks, and they're like, Spirit Tracks is the first time that Zelda is in a protagonist role in a Zelda game. It's like, she is the main protagonist in 2 CDI games.
Oh, I forgot about the other Zelda CDI game.
Yeah, there is sadly no remaster currently of Zelda's Adventure. And that's because, aside from the fact that people don't care about it as much because it doesn't have funny cutscenes, if you actually have the patience to play it, it's way worse.
Oh, great. Way worse and not funny.
Yeah, it doesn't even, like, look pleasant to look at because everything uses, like... It's like Mortal Kombat where they just use actual people.
Oh dear, Wizrobe has captured Lady Alma.
Game Grumps tried to do a playthrough of it. They finished Faces of Evil and Wand of Gamelon. They tried Zelda's Adventure, but they were just broken because there's so many bosses you gotta hit like 30 times before they die.
Oh my god.
As opposed to this game where a lot of bosses die in one hit as so long as you're using the right weapon.
Is there any way to know what the right weapon is other than try everything?
A lot of them have cutscenes that mention it, like with Gibdo earlier throwing the shroud on him. When you get the shroud, she says to take the wraps off Gibdo. Now, granted, I don't know if there's anything in the game that says that is Gibdo, unless you just know your Zelda characters.
No, you pretty much just have to guess.
Not the disintegration spell!
Honestly, in his sprite form, that guy looked more like Ganon than Ganon does. At the very least, cartoon Ganon.
Link told me about you. You know Link? Sure. He gave me his canteen for a kiss. You kissed him?
Zelda's eye movement there is so weird to me. Like, her eyebrows change position with every word she says.
Yeah, that's how women talk. Don't like those mouths with wings.
So this is probably right here the hardest room in the game, just because there's these things flying around with projectiles your shield doesn't often block. And they're also all in the worst places.
What even are these things? They look like rocket-powered snake heads.
That's basically what they are, as far as I can tell.
Oh my god, I thought they were tadpoles. I didn't realize they were snakes.
I mean, there's a dragon sprouts them, so your guess is as good as mine.
This is what baby dragons look like, I guess. I don't know my dragon lore.
Okay, never mind. It's a hydra.
I just rewatched Hercules yesterday, and I don't know that Hydra is what they're supposed to look like.
Yeah, he was CG in a 2D movie. It was real weird. By the way, I could have mentioned this the first time we came into this town. I hope you realize that you're able to walk through that window to get to the whole second half of the town.
That ought to do it.
Yes, let me just crawl through this person's window.
So that fisherman became a blacksmith, huh? Good for him.
Yeah, and he destroyed his house showing off the power of the sword.
Well, he's new at this. Leave him alone.
Well, it's good
So on the
thing
plus
he's a
side,
blacksmith.
Your friend Link could eat 10 of these.
What is that, a dare?
Now I've been
The Arpagos will die for them.
Now, I've been talking about useless items in this game. I legitimately don't know what the bread does.
It doesn't
We
give you
said
hearts like
Arpagos.
Minecraft?
No, it's not health. I mean, he says, like, the Arpagos will die for them, so maybe it's like you throw it down as bait.
Maybe
I
you
don't
just,
know.
like, throw it down and it kills the Arpagos, whatever those are.
You are my prisoner.
Hey!
Silence! Hectan, keep the runt in chains.
That's going to be my reaction if I'm ever captured. Hey! You also get like 3 tiers of lanterns throughout these games, and I'm really not sure what the difference is between them. Like, I think the final one, you don't have to worry about lamp oil anymore. But the first and second ones, I don't know what the difference is.
Maybe it lasts longer?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I hate that both these games, but this one especially, are lousy with just falling rocks. They fall down in no pattern in a bunch of places, and you have no invincibility frames, so you can just get drained of half your health.
You've killed me!
That's what I would say if I was killed.
Good.
And that's what I would say if I killed someone.
The realism is out of this world.
Duke Onkled betrayed the king.
I know.
What do you mean, you know? This is the second time we've heard Onkled's name.
She just
She
knows,
just-
alright?
Yeah, she just said that so she wouldn't be embarrassed.
People have theorized that there must have been like a missing cut scene where she actually figures it out, which means that there is cut content from these games and we need to find it. We need to get like a fully remastered and developed version of these games.
Has somebody ever done a creepypasta about those? Because they should.
Don't hurt me, Zelda. I'll
Oh, dude, Zelda CDI creepypasta, and then you beat the game and King Harkinian started sprouting hyper-realistic blood.
Yeah.
Sure he doesn't get away.
He's got hyper-realistic eyes, too.
That would probably be less unsettling than most of the characters in this game.
There has to be a creepypasta based on the Zelda CDI games.
The only Zelda one I know of is Ben Drowned, but there's gotta be more.
That's the famous one.
Yeah, I just reread it the other day.
There's several.
Not good.
There's several bad ones I know about.
I don't know of any others. Not that I look that hard.
Mm-hmm. See, one of these days we're gonna have to play the ultimate creepypasta video game, Godzilla on the NES.
I literally have that fic open in another window.
Oh my...
Because I read it once before, and I don't know, going through a creepypasta reread thing, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check out the NES Godzilla one again. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it's like not good, but
Will penetrate the dark around Ganon, but only the
My friend
world can defeat
told
him.
me about that like a few days ago because we were all playing really bad creepypasta games.
How many times did you play Sonic EXE?
We didn't play Sonic EXE, but we did play something called
Oh dear.
Ol77.exe, which was like
Whatever.
it was like
I
creepypasta stuff, but like it was like Kingdom Hearts. Like just replace
Ugh.
the Heartless with Sonic.exe, and it was pretty much that.
See, I'm trying to think how you can fit that into a normal Kingdom Hearts story.
It was like Sonic.exe was like going around to like different Disney worlds to like do evil things, I guess.
I used to have legit nightmares in middle school about Tails doll.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. They were fucked up. I mean, I haven't looked at any of them in a decade, so I don't remember, but they were certainly
Tails
scary
Doll
at the
is, like,
time.
probably like the one creepypasta EXE thing that's like kind of fairly creepy sometimes.
Some of the fan art for it,
It's
or
be-
like, I don't know, art around it was really creepy.
Yeah, Sonic Shorts always had the Easter eggs. And honestly, I maintain that even if you take the creepypasta part out of it, Tails doll is still just kind of creepy in Sonic R.
Yeah? And like even in
Which
the
is a shame,
comics,
'cause,
they made Tails Doll like this like nightmare monstrosity thing.
I still don't hate Tails doll as much as I hate Big the Cat, though, to be honest.
oh, Big the Cat's wonderful.
I hate that thing.
He just
I
wants
thought-
to fish with his frog friend.
Well, I wish they didn't draw him with that expression on his face.
But the Triforce says you can only win
Listen,
by
just be
falling.
glad they didn't go with his
I wonder
original
what that
designs.
means.
Oh god, I don't even know what the original design was.
They are actually kind of terrifying.
Let's look this up.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, I
I'll send it in
found
the
one
Discord.
drawing, but he just looks like Totoro. This one's kind of cute.
You're looking up pictures, we're recording.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, see, he just looks like Totoro in that top left one.
Fine, now I have to look. Okay, the top right one just looks like the albatross from Riders.
Yeah. I don't like the bottom left one.
So you gotta get back to paying attention to the game. We're in the final dungeon.
I kind of like those bone spiders. I bet those blue wolves were furry bait. I mean, they weren't because nobody played these games, but...
Imagine growing up and you get the CDI for Christmas and you're like, man, these games suck. And then you hear they're making a Zelda game for it. And you're like, oh boy. And it's just this.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing you get from Christmas from your well-meaning grandmother who doesn't know anything about video games, but she heard you like that Zelda thing. So she's like, here you go. And you're like, thanks.
I want to know the well-meaning grandma who bought you a $700 CDI.
I didn't know they were that much money.
Yeah, why else do you think no one played them?
Yeah, they were really expensive.
So what do we think? Best Ganon fight or best Ganon fight of all time?
I'm looking at
think
it,
it's
I
the
gotta
best
say
of all
best of all
time.
time. Yeah.
That was like a pretty engaging fight.
Yeah,
Listen,
really.
I mean, there's a lot of emotion and style that went into the Wind Waker fight, but you can't compare to throwing a wand at him.
Here's the traitor, your majesty. Please, your omnipotence, have mercy.
I tried to limit the YouTube poop references, but this one's too classic.
All the floors in Hyrule, then we can talk about mercy. Take him away.
Yes, my liege.
They look
Wonder
related.
What happened to Link? Oh, he was.
Oh,
a
right,
fraud
Link.
anyway.
was in
Oh
this game.
yeah.
Oh, right.
Link.
There he is.
What happened?
Nothing, Link. We were just about to have a feast.
No, I think there's something. This woman trapped Link in her mirror.
Wow. Forgot how awful he looks when he laughs.
So that was Wand of Gamelon.
Can you imagine being the person that this game was made in memory of? What an insult.
Oh.
Just spit on his grave, why don't you?
I do have to wonder if Dale DeSharon did anything else, like, prior to this, and then this completely derailed his career. Or if this was just his 15 minutes of fame.
I like to think this is something that he, like, toiled away in anonymity for years, and then he was like, I'm gonna finally do what I really want to do. And he made this and promptly died.
His
Yeah,
life
and the
work
voice
was
acting-
completed.
The voice acting was recorded in Boston, so it's local.
Oh god, no. Some of these people might still be in my neighborhood.
You might have seen them walking down the street and you never would have known.
That's terrifying to think I live in proximity.
I like to imagine that Link's voice is just one of those ones that you would hear at the grocery store and you, like, just suddenly know. Like, you just hear him the next aisle over and you're like, is that Link from the CDI games?
Can you imagine going up and saying that to, like, I can't even imagine if it would be worse if they are or aren't.
If they aren't, they probably would have no idea what you're talking about. If it was the guy, he'd probably, like, stand there getting PTSD flashbacks.
I guess I wouldn't want to
Would
inflict that on
briskly
somebody
walk
at
in
Stop
the
and
opposite
Shop.
direction.
He's like, oh, I gotta go. Leaves his cart abandoned in the cereal aisle. Boy, that sure was a game, huh?
That was
now I have
a
to
video
say-
game.
I have to save this picture of Big the Cat because I'll have to edit it in so people know what you're talking about.